I said during the campaign that there was a Washington to Wall Street axis of power totally disconnected with most of America and did not understand what they were doing and how it was affecting the rest of America.
But was it really a Washington mindset that led to derivatives, that led to all these economic instruments, which ended up being, to paraphrase Warren Buffett, weapons of mass destruction?
Greed. I want to go back to what I said. It's not so much about the regulation. It's unadulterated, unmitigated greed. When people thought that they could make a quick buck and they didn't care how they made it and who it hurt in order to make it as quickly as they did and as enormously as they did, you have a situation that gets out of control. And what happened, Wall Street became the version of Las Vegas East. People no longer were investing in products and services. They were investing on what the value of a product or service would one day be, and they were betting on the future value of it.
But Mike, nobody expected greed to be eliminated from human nature. That's why regulations exist. And
I agree with that.
And, to say it was greed, like, oh my God, that was something new, that just appeared on the horizon. And, that's why the founders of capitalism knew that. I mean, Adam Smith, before he wrote The Wealth of Nations, wrote the theory of moral sentiments. There had to be a moral underpinning to what was happening. And government is there to provide some regulations when that underpinning is not there. There were no regulations. Nobody knew who was regulating whom. I mean, there was this Office of Thrift Supervision that's supposed to be regulating AIG. There was just one man who had no clue what was happening. I mean, these instruments were
His brother worked for Bernie Madoff.
Yes, probably. And, speaking of Madoff, there were all these whistleblowers sending information to the SEC, but the SEC was there not to regulate, but somehow to not regulate, because that was the message from Chris Cox and from the Republican leadership generally. They did not believe in regulation. So I think I completely agree with Gail. It's very important for us to know why we got here. I don't think we're ever going to get out of here if we don't really have a full investigation. The New York Times on Sunday called for a full congressional investigation with subpoena powers to understand.
You really want Congress to do the investigating?
Yes, I want Congress to do the investigating, provided they have subpoena powers and provided there can be transparency about what got us here. Because otherwise we're going to have Eric Cantor, bless his heart and his soul, go on, tell us that the way to get out of here is to freeze spending. In the middle of a recession, Eric Cantor wants to freeze spending. Please tell me this is not serious.
Well, if you are in a business that is in a world of hurt, you're running anything, the first thing you want to do is seize your cash and hold on to it. You don't want to spend every last dime you have. I mean, we have the equivalent going on in our government of having a college freshman that we've just sent off to school with enough money to get through the semester and a credit card in case of an extraordinary emergency. And after 2 weeks, he calls and said, I've spent all the money for the semester and I've maxed out the card. What would you like for me to do? The dad never says, I'm going to send you some more money and a couple of more credit cards, and I hope that'll take care of it. That's not how we fix it. We are in a problem because we spent money we didn't have and we borrowed money we couldn't pay back. And now the geniuses of Washington think that we're going to fix it by spending more money that we don't have and borrowing more that we can't pay back. In this case, many opportunities, borrowing it from the Chinese. We better take the Rosetta Stone course in Mandarin if we continue to do this.